born?
Okay, my name is Tuhina Chanda. Now I'm Tuhina Guha Majumdar, and I was born in Calcutta, 9th January 1965. And I grew up here till I was about 8, and then my parents went away to USA, but I stayed here back in Calcutta with my grandparents. And 1975 was the first time I went to USA because my brother was born then in Philadelphia. And since 1975, I've been going every year for my vacation for a month during the winter. And in 1980 is when I went there to live there. So when I went there, here I used to go, in Calcutta I used to go to a Catholic school. So when I went to, my parents moved to New Jersey at that time from Philadelphia. So I went to a Catholic school there for my 11th grade and 12th grade. I took my SATs and I did fairly well. Then I went for engineering. When I was a freshman at Rutgers, that is the State University of New Jersey, then I came for a vacation in between my freshman year and my sophomore year. I came for a vacation for 6 weeks at Calcutta, and the person I got married to, my husband, they were just they were acquaintances of my family here in Calcutta. One of my grandfather's brother's friend was my father-in-law. So they have heard about me, and they wanted to get a what do you say, a relationship with our family. And then and my husband was a doctor. He was doing his residency at that time. So they just came one morning. It was a Saturday morning. I remember it was raining cats and dogs, and you know, my parents didn't tell me anything that people were coming to see me, as in quotes, like to get married. They just said, you know, some people were going to come over. But since it was raining so much, I mean, we just thought, I mean, nobody's going to come. So I wasn't dressed or anything. I was just wearing a skirt, and I was hanging around. All of a sudden, there was this car, and these people came. And then, you know, with everybody's reaction, I could tell that something was going on. And then I said, I'm not going to go and meet these people, because I was very embarrassed. And I just said, you know, I'm not a showpiece that I'm going to go in front of somebody and they're going to check me out. And there is no way I'm going to deal with that. But then my mom said, you know, there's nothing like that. They're just, you know, they're just coming to visit us. And, you know, you meet new people, so it's nothing wrong in meeting new people. So you just go, you just meet them and say hello, and just leave the room if you don't like to stay there. So that's what happened. I went in, and his whole family was there. His father, his mother, his only sister, sister's husband, and their child. I mean, this is his immediate family. They were there, and they introduced me to them, and this is so-and-so, this is so-and-so, and I was like, okay, hello, hello. And then they asked me what my name was, what I was studying. And then since my husband, originally he was studying engineering before he went into medicine, so he was asking me a lot of things about engineering, and we got into a conversation. And then after, say, about 15 or 20 minutes, you know, my mom said, you can leave now. So I just got up and said goodbye, and I left. And then I don't know what happened, what talk went between them. And then later that day, everybody asked me if, you know, I was ready to get married to this guy. And it's like, no, I don't know this man. How can I get married to him? And then my grandfather, my parents, they all said that that's our custom, and you know, they're from a good family, and he's a doctor, and he's good looking, and this and that, this whole bit, and this is how everybody got married. Your parents got married, and you'll be happy if you get married this way. And I was just 19 years old, and I I guess because my formative years were in India, and it's not like it was a big shock, because many people got married that way. They still do in this country. Arranged marriages are very common. So I said, okay, I'll think about it. But I didn't get any time to think about it. They just like decided that this was it. Then my husband's family, actually my father-in-law, he came to our house again the next morning, and he said that they really liked me and they liked our family, and I was good in studies, and he always he liked people who are good in studies. That was his big thing, and so it was his dream that his daughter became an engineer, but his daughter was not smart enough. So now he's very happy that his daughter-in-law would be an engineer. So he talked, he ate, and then when he first came, I mean the next day, the moment I saw him, I started to cry, because I was like so scared about this concept of marriage. And then he's like, why are you crying? Didn't you like us? And I was like, no, it's not that. I'm just scared. He's like, you're just going to be, my another daughter. Don't think like you're going to be a daughter-in-law, which is true. I mean, they have treated me really well. I mean, I never for once did I really think that, I was in my in-laws' place. I mean, they've been very nice. My mother-in-law is also very nice and very loving, very kind. So then I just like went back to USA, and then I told my friends were like flipping out. They're like, I can't believe you're doing this, Tina. I mean, why? And then, how could you like, my best friend Gina, she's like, how could you like go to bed with somebody you don't even know? So I'm like, don't you guys just like go to a bar and meet some guy and go to bed with that person? I mean, that's even worse. And, and this is the custom of India. I mean, what can I do? But then, and because I was engaged, my marriage was fixed for the next year, like a year later in July. So I had a whole year to sort of like communicate with my husband, would-be husband, my fiance, I should say. And so we wrote letters, we sent cards, we called. So it wasn't like that I didn't hear about him or see him. I didn't see him for a year because he was in India. I was in New Jersey, but we talked on the phone. He sent me cards. I sent him cards for Valentine's Day and for Christmas and this and that. I mean, it was a bit weird, but still it was nice. And then I came in June, end of June next year. When I finished my sophomore year and I came, and then I got married. I had this big, huge wedding. There were 800 people were invited. I mean, it was amazing. I mean, everybody, I guess, like all the people we know in Calcutta, and because I was the only daughter of my parents just went galore. And he's also only son, so his parents also went galore. So it was like a big ceremony and everything. And then I guess we went on our honeymoon, and that's what we got to know each other better. And it's been 15 years since. What's there to say?
Any regrets?
No, I don't think I have any regrets. I mean, if I chose somebody, I wouldn't have chosen anybody as nice as my husband, I'm sure. He has never, I have no reason to complain. He has never given me even 1 minute of any sort of sorrow in my life. I mean, he's always been very supportive. The only thing he tells me that, because, of my weight problem, he always tells me that, you don't love yourself and you don't love me. Because, if you don't lose weight, you're not going to live long. That he always says that, but I don't have any willpower. I love to eat. I mean, what can I do? So that's the only, hitch we have. sort of like sometimes. But then, you know, he's such a like a loving person. He's like, he'll tell me that, you know, the other day I ordered pizza and we were having pizza, and he's like, pizza's so fattening, I can't believe somebody, you know, you just don't want to lose weight at all. And then he felt, I guess he felt so bad, you know, later on, you know, the next day he's like, okay, I'll allow you a pizza like once a month maybe, because you love it so much. You know, I understand that he feels bad, but you know, I know he's a doctor and he's thinking about my health. But you know, that's the thing. That's the only problem, like, really we have. Otherwise, like, our tastes are similar. I mean, it's just, I guess God has made it that way somehow. You know, when you say marriages are made in heaven, I mean, it's just like, that thing is like so true with me. Because I mean, like, what things I like, he likes, except for like food habits. Otherwise, like, most things are similar. Our likes and dislikes. And you know, one thing is, he's an introvert, I'm an extrovert, and I talk a lot, he talks little. But I guess opposites do attract, you know. So, you know, if I say, why don't you talk much? I mean, so he just says somebody has to listen because you're talking so much. So if we both talk, who's gonna listen? So, you know, I'm happy.
What do you think of when you think of your son and your son's wedding? Do you have any preferences in that?
I'm open-minded. I mean, whoever he marries, I mean, it's fine with me, as long as she's nice. I mean, I don't have this thing, like my husband said, because I guess of his bringing up, and since he's never been abroad or anything, he expects his son and his wife to stay with us and look after us when we're old. But I don't have those sort of illusions, because I know, I mean, in this day and age, you never should expect that. I don't have those sort of expectations, but he has that. Since he always says, you know, I looked after my parents, and my mother's still living with us, and you know, you've always taken good care of my mom, and I've always taken good care of my mom, so why shouldn't our son take care of us when we're old? But that's just wishful thinking for him, I'm sure. I mean, with the times now, I mean, I don't expect that from my son. But if he chooses somebody for himself, I have no problem with that. But if not, I'll find him a bride.